the Super Sunday, the Art of the Sunday program. Why do we do it? Why do we do Sunday program? We want to do it because we want to inspire people to become more committed. We want to do it because we want to attract our own devotees to take up more and more services and commitments. Who are our target audience, like in our own specific situations? Who are we attracting? The Indian crowd or the local crowd, the youth, the seekers? What is your target audience? This is very, very important to always have the background check of who is our target audience. Who is it for? Devotees? Is it mainly for devotees, Sunday program? Is it for the seekers? Seekers does not necessarily mean those who are like philosophically seeking out to know God. Okay? Seekers could just mean those who are like, okay, they're actually checking out what's around and they actually would be interested. They are like potential devotees. And or children, right? We may have a lot of children coming to a temple. What is your target audience? Who is it for? Devotees. We all have devotees when we are conducting a Sunday program. So what do they need? What do our devotees need? Our devotees, then the seekers, those who can become devotees. Seekers, what do they need? Children, what are their needs? Okay, for example, if we have different audiences in our temples, we have devotees, we have seekers, we have children. But if we are focusing all our energies only on seekers, let's say, like every Sunday we're talking about the same things. We have to chant japa, we have to do Bhagavad Gita. We're kind of insulting the faith of those who are already doing it because they've been hearing to it again and again. And we're failing to touch upon the needs of other audiences. Okay? But if we can actually keep track of who are we targeting, and do we have specific programs for different audiences? Do we engage all the people who come to our temple? Or are we only focusing on a specific group? And keeping in mind different needs of seekers, devotees and children, in some temples, for instance, like in South India, in Bangalore for instance, they have 3 programs simultaneously. One program is like the full-fledged Bhagavatam lecture for those who are seasoned devotees. And then they have a lecture for introducing Krishna consciousness to the beginners. And they have a local language class going on. So they have actually divided so that they can actually cater the needs of different people. The lecture, this is a major part of our Sunday program. How is it done? Do we consider the topic? There was my husband, when he was brahmachari many years ago, he was actually doing research because he was working in the congregational development ministry. He is actually putting together materials to help our congregation members improve the program. So he went to Singapore. And there, the Christians are really organized. They had a congregation back then when he went of 6,000 people. And they could not cater everyone in one place, like one auditorium. So what they did, they had divided them into 4 different groups. And they would have the same lecture, the same presenter, 4 different times in the auditorium on different days. So he dressed up, he was a brahmachari, freshly shaved head, but he wore a cap, he wore a karmi dress, and he went into these Christian lectures just to find out how they do this program. So as soon as he entered this temple, not the temple, it was an auditorium. He entered there and there was Apostle Lawrence. He was a very, very famous, powerful speaker. And he had already heard a little bit about him. He saw that the auditorium was jam-packed. As soon as he entered, he was given with a little flyer. He was given with a little flyer telling what was the topic, who is going to present it, who is the speaker, how many minutes is the topic going to last, and how many audiences were present in the previous week's topic, and how many did they baptize in the last week. So imagine, you get that thing and how inspired people can get. Okay, then he came there and this man gave a very, very powerful speech, directly got to the point. It was about adultery is bad. The topic was the fatal attraction. And mostly the crowd was young people, married couples. And what happened was at the end of the lecture, subconsciously, ISKCON Brahmachari was expecting, okay, at the end, now there's going to be a feast. There was no prasadam, there was no feast. That's it. The lecture ended, and then I went back, and next day was another lecture by the same person, 2,000 other audience. Then my husband happened to go back to Singapore 2 years later. The same church, the same congregation had now expanded to 9,000 people. And he did the math. If they had to make 3,000 more people in 2 years, they made 4 new devotees, 4 new converts every day, every single day. And they had track of it, even without us reading prasadam. So how many devotees can we make actually with the program that we have, the philosophy that we have? Wow. So the topic is very, very important. How relevant is the content to our audience? What are we talking about? Are we able to connect with their life situations? Are we able to help them? There was this is a true story. There was a very, very expert pastor. He used to conduct classes, and there used to be like 9,000 to 10,000 people attending this huge church. This pastor speaks, and there were huge congregation members. Slowly they saw that the church members started decreasing. Actually, I don't want to give a Hare Krishna example because we don't need many. We can actually put a board outside our temple saying, "You have trouble sleeping, please attend our Srimad Bhagavatam classes on Sundays." Because I don't want to give the example, but this is a very true Christian example because it's easier for us to digest. So this pastor started losing audience. They started to see, why are we losing audience? So this pastor went to a junior pastor and he shared, you know what's been happening? Initially I had about 9,000 to 10,000 people attending. Slowly they're decreasing and I don't even have like 1,000 audience coming. And the whole hall is empty, and I don't know. I'm preparing like 20 hours every week for the presentation, and I'm still not able to attract audience. And the junior pastor asked, what topic are you presenting on? He said, look, I've done a thorough research and it's the most interesting topic. I'm talking about how to build sacrificial altars in churches. Ah, okay. The junior pastor got it, and he said, you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. Nobody cares anything about sacrificial altars. They don't give it, they don't care about it. Then the pastor thought, okay, so he announced a topic for the next week. He said, what to do when you think that you married the wrong person. The church was crowded with 10,000 people the next week. Therefore, in our centers, do we have a topic on the Sunday lecture? Do we announce it prior to the program? Do we announce the speaker? Because generally what happens is, this circle is what we want to say. Each and every devotee, as a temple president, as a leader, we want to say something. And this is what people are interested in. Maybe their family, maybe their career, maybe their own anarthas, how to overcome laziness, whatever it is. And this is the relevance. What our mind or our speech relevant to their situation. See, A and B. A is what we want to talk about, and B is what they are interested in. A good speaker, a good presenter can actually make the point of relevance very interesting to the audience, and he can present a class like this. I mean, even in our ILS presentations, as soon as there's like good speakers, seminars, the tent is full, right? I mean, if it's like Jayapataka Maharaj this morning, tent was full. Radhanath Swami here now in the evening, the tents are full. Why? Because what they speak is very relevant to the audience. But if we are not Jayapataka Swami or Radhanath Swami, then we may end up in a situation like this. Our relevance is only this much. And the next time we speak, next time the same speaker is announced, we don't have enough people. Right? And the best preparation is to actually, they say, in Bengali they say, Yato gur tato mishti. Right? What does it mean? It means if a speaker is sitting on the Vyasasana, he's speaking. Gur means jaggery. So however sweet the gur is, that gur, the mishti or the sweet rice will be that sweet. So the presentation can only be powerful if we have the backup plan, if we actually study Prabhupada books nicely. And Prabhupada actually said that, you just study my books, everything is in there. If we studied it properly, we will be able to make it relevant. Okay. For example, now we may be thinking, but why do we need to, sometimes we may say, look, it's important, Kali Yuga, people have short memory. Manda sumanda matayo, manda bhagyahi upadrita, people are very less fortunate. They cannot remember, so we have to repeat again and again the same instructions. Right? We may say that. So, why schools have different classes? Why? You could say, no, Kali Yuga, everybody should remain in 5th grade and they should not move on. No, we have different grades. So, if we have 2 audiences in our temple, what do? One audience, they don't know anything about Krishna consciousness. There was one man who started chanting his rounds and he got depressed. They found out, what was your problem? He actually went secretly to a senior devotee and said, Prabhuji, I'm trying my best. Everybody says that it takes about 7 minutes to chant one round, but it's taking me 14 minutes. Are you sure you're chanting properly? Yeah, I tried my best. I tried to chant as fast and as concentrated as possible. The devotee said, let me see how you chant. So the devotee started Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare. Oh, you're chanting 2 rounds, therefore it's taking 14 minutes. So the point is, we have 2 audiences. Their needs are different. If we talk to this audience and we tell them, Bhagavad Gita is the word of God, is Krishna's words, we have to imbibe the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. They've already been doing that for the past 12 years. It will be an insult to their faith again. If we tell them, you should chant 16 rounds, dedicate your life to Srila Prabhupada, they've already been doing that. They need something more. I mean, don't we have experience sometimes senior devotees also, they come to temple very hesitatingly. Sometimes they even stop coming. Do we have that experience?
Yeah.
Why? Because their needs are not met. So if you are having 2 audiences in your temples, consider having 2 lectures. One is a basic lecture, another is building your missionary spirit. Now, how do you become a leader? How do you influence this movement? How do you influence the world and touch people's life? How do you make a difference in people's life? That's why the 6,000 to 9,000 happened, because they have this. Okay. The lecture should be relevant and relatable. This is the key word. If you want to take one important slide from this presentation, the lecture is very important, and make it relevant to the audience and relatable. Okay? Okay, we'll now see, what does relevant mean? It means it has to do with one's life. There is a connection, even a sense of need. Relatable. What does relatable mean? One can understand and use it. One can feel a connection, even a sense of identity. Because everybody is looking for the sense of identity. They want to be connected to the mission. Are their needs met? You want to go back to the slide? Okay? Relevant and relatable. We have to make sure we meet the needs of our audience. What other needs? Could be family, could be marriage, career, children, children's education. Are we able to provide that kind of knowledge that our people want, our congregation members want? Charity, are we encouraging them? One thing is to put signs all over the temple, donate, donate, donate. Another thing is to actually inspire them to do that. Dealing with non-devotee relatives, right? Most of the Indian communities, we have that issue. Are we giving them tips and advices how to deal? Consider the preparation. You know that a Christian pastor prepares 20 hours, solid 20 hours for a week, like for the Sunday lecture. 20 hours. I mean, not on the sacrificial altars. I'm saying on the good lectures. Okay, how many hours do we prepare? How well are we prepared? Because it is said that the best way to influence the audience is by telling them something that they know in a different way, in a relatable way. Because by failing to prepare, you're preparing to fail. If we do not prepare, like I said, sometimes we have this complaint with Prabhuji, whenever our lecture is going on in the temple, people they are not coming to the class. They only come for prasadam. How many of us have this problem? They come only for prasadam. They come late. Right? Okay, yes, one consideration is we need to see why. Maybe you cook too much good prasadam. But another possibility is that maybe our lectures are boring. Because like I said, we repeat the same thing. It's like a preheated philosophy, the same thing that they've been hearing zillion times. Are we providing them something new? To provide something new, we need to prepare. Otherwise, we're preparing to fail. Consider announcing it. See, this is an example. Message, what you think matters. Speaker, Pastor Anthony Weber. Church of the Living God. So, Sunday morning, 10 a.m., they announce this. Maybe through SMS, Twitter, Facebook, phone calls, announcement boards. We should consider doing that. This is one example. Choose the bread of life or you are toast. This is an interesting topic, something attractive. Of course, sometimes they also get it wrong. Best sausage supper in St. Louis, come and eat, Pastor Thomas Drexel. Of course, you have to be careful. Then consider the length. We should not go on and on and on and bore our audience. If we actually see a standard class of Srila Prabhupada, he speaks for 20 minutes and he says, thank you very much, Hare Krishna. Right, you're getting into the lecture like, wow, it's interesting, and Prabhupada, he ends it. We have to actually end when the audience is interested. Okay, consider the languages. We may have different people speaking different languages. Sometimes we may have somebody in where? Trivandrum. Okay, you have a group of 4 friends who speak Hindi, living there in a hostel or something. They come to our temple. If we think that, oh, these 4 people only, they speak Hindi, only 4 of them. What happens is, first of all, we could lose them if we do not actually organize a Hindi lecture or English lecture. Second, if we give them attention and organize a Hindi or English lecture, they could bring in more friends. Then we could have another new group forming there in our temple. So consider that people speak different languages and you can attract that group of people. Consider teaching for the groups, because people don't feel very welcome. They don't feel like a part and they don't feel comfortable in a big group. Consider making smaller groups and giving them attention and going to their homes, visiting their homes. Because when temple presidents visit the homes of different people where groups have taken place, they feel more that sense of identity. They want to be a part of this mission even more because they feel personal care. And this is very important. Consider those who avoid the lecture. We have some of them. Lectures going on in the temple and they're outside in the courtyard gossiping. They don't want to come inside the lecture and they're disturbing other people. This gives a very bad example to those who come new to the temple. They say, oh, it's all right to do this. And also it's an insult to the speaker. It's insulting Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita. So how do we deal with that? One thing we could do is, like for example in London, they give prasadam coupons in the beginning of Bhagavatam class. Only those who attend Bhagavatam class can eat free prasadam. Otherwise they have to pay. So, in this way. Of course, that is like a practical idea. But inspirationally, we need to provide them quality. We need to give them a class that they don't want to miss. How many of you got this big Ramayan, beautiful book in the ILS? How many of you got it? Okay. Did you feel to reject it? Did you feel to say no? Why? Because it was such a deal that nobody can say no. Right? Yes. So we have to provide such a class that people cannot, I'm sorry bro, I can't talk to you, I need to listen to it. They have to feel that sense of relevance. And I was thinking, in the ILS, now we're having like 88 seminars. But honestly, I'm going through really quick. I told you in the beginning, we could be having for each of them how to avoid those how to control those who avoid the lecture. We could be having a seminar on that in ILS. How to prepare a lecture for leaders, we could be having a seminar on it. So today we're really going really quick over these topics, but we could be having hundreds of seminars just how to do a successful Sunday program. Okay? Consider the sitting arrangements. Some people are just not yogis. Yogis, you put them on a marble floor, they're comfortable. Put them anywhere, on a rock, on sand, they're very comfortable. Many people, sometimes maybe age is the problem. Some other times they just have problems with their knees. They can't sit on the floor. Generally what happens is they're not comfortable in sitting in any of these positions. And therefore their attention span is less. None of these positions are comfortable for me. And you know what happens if we do not provide chairs or some cushions? The first place that will be taken is the wall. Everybody will go to the wall. Everybody wants to sit to the wall. So somebody comes into the room and they see, oh, the walls are all occupied. There's no space for me, and they leave. So we need to think, okay, maybe we can have like some cushions like this, something a little bit more comfortable. Or maybe some foldable chairs if we have space issues in our temple. Plastic chairs, okay, something to make them feel comfortable. Consider offering recordings. Maybe somebody missed a Sunday program, someone really interesting gave. We have our lectures online. Actually, lectures is even not a very appropriate word.
Yes, yes.
Lecture, okay, you know, like college and you have to listen to a lecture. Maybe you should say a class or a talk. Talk by Radha Govinda Dasi, talk by Krishna Maharaj. It's a little bit more, you know, inspiring. Consider tangible outcomes. You have not influenced anyone until they act. If we're giving our Sunday programs every week and we're not inspiring any of them to come forward, offer services, to take up leadership, to help us in our project, we're not making any influence. So our lectures, our caring attitude, we should inspire them to come forward. Edutainment, educational entertainment, dramas. How many of you saw the drama this afternoon during lunch? Lovely, no? Stays in our mind, philosophy is there. I think more people came for lunch because there was drama today. So, we can have different ideas. Srila Prabhupada was very favorable. I'm pleased to learn that the Columbus Center is improving gradually and now you begin to perform plays for the guests at the Sunday feasts. There's so many ideas. We could have like every month, the last Sunday of the month, we have a drama in our temple. We could actually give it over to the youth. You handle that program. And we do a prayer announcement. We are going to have a drama. Dance, right? We could have little children performing. First of all, we engage them. Secondly, we're also giving something of quality, something that people can keep it in their mind. Puppet shows. Wouldn't you like to see a puppet show? Would you like to see Gopis and Krishna puppet show? Prabhupada is saying, it is very nice that you're preparing these puppet stories of Srimad Bhagavatam. Such program will not fail to have an uplifting effect upon the viewers as well as the players. So do this nicely, it shall be very good. Prabhupada encouraged us to do puppet shows. See, this is actually one of our ISKCON centers. They have puppet show. Everybody out there in the summer morning. More puppet shows. More puppet shows. This couple travels around. There's puppet shows. Okay, you get the idea. In all festivals, if you make such puppet show, then you will be able to attract so many people. Both devotees and the seekers. Oh, sorry. Okay, then kirtan. I don't actually need to stress the importance of kirtan. This morning we even had a seminar on the importance of kirtan in our communities. engages everyone, everybody gets ecstatic. Of course, one thing I could mention about kirtan is don't have these loud microphones that your ears are bursting. Keep the volume low and lower appropriate. Consider providing the songs. Like for example, in the Signage temple, they have beautiful boards with all the songs written on there. And they also have folders and files. I saw in the office kept for every festival, whenever they sing a particular song, they have song sheets laminated. So they give to all the congregation members. So it's not that when Hare Krishna is going on, there's loud congregational chanting, and as soon as you chant some other mantra, Shri Guru Charana Padma, then the voice is lower and not everybody knows the song, and then the voice fades up. Song books, laminated song sheets, signs in the temple room. You couldn't even project on the screen. Okay, different considerations. In Tamil, in different languages, we can print out for them so they can learn. Okay, children. My husband, when he was a Gurukul teacher, this is at the time of Kirtanananda Swami. So they had this rule that every Sunday at 4 p.m. before the Sunday program, all these little children will come and do kirtan, bhajans for the kids. And they would let these children go to the parents' house on Saturday evening. So Sunday evening, they were just not ready. So they had to come and they felt like torture to actually sing. You can see their faces. So there's this boy, he's saying, please don't force me to do the bhajans on Sunday evening. So we have to consider not to force some of our children to do programs unless they are really inspired or enthusiastic. To not force the kids. Prasadam. Okay, what are some of the considerations? Oops. I made this movement successful simply by love feast. They did not come here to hear Hare Krishna. They came for love feast. See, I mean, like I told you, 3,000 people, 4 converts every day without prasadam. What to speak of with prasadam? How many converts can we make? Consider the serving style. What kind do we like? We like buffet system. People go, fill up their plates as much as they want, and they go and sit down like we're doing in the ILS, right? Or do we want a more traditional system? Actually, this is a scientist, Prabhu in North America, so he's able to manage 2 dishes at the same time serving. So this is, everybody sits down and you serve, and then you have garden style, everybody sits outside and you serve. Consider the eating utensils. Some places, plastics are a no-no. It's banned. It's considered it's against ecological values. They prefer recyclable. In some places like Germany or other places in Europe, even recyclable is outdated and it's a no-no. Now it's reusable. Of course, we also have South Indian style of banana leaves, the best, organic and natural. you use that?
Yes.
We have Prabhu Radha Govinda Prabhu from Madurai is the temple president there. So yeah, you use it every Sunday program, huh?
Yeah, maximum.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so we have to consider. This is in Korea. They don't mind, it seems, sitting in one. There's a sheet of paper and everybody has these plastic plates. Sometimes people cannot sit down and have prasadam. We may need to arrange chairs. You have also chair system? Yeah. Because some people, like this lady, she says, oh, in the Hare Krishna temple, I have to sit down to have prasadam, I'm not going. Right? And we may lose the whole family. Consider to charge or not. Like I said, in London, they charge. They charge a particular amount. You can discuss with your team what are the pros and cons of charging prasadam for prasadam. The time factor. What time to do Sunday program? What time do you hold your Sunday program?
6:30 to 8 o'clock.
In the evening, okay? And Prabhuji, you were having at what time? 11:30 in the morning. So there is no standard time for Sunday program. We can do it according to the needs of our audience. Time is in our hands. Yeah? This is Manchester. ISKCON in Manchester. They have a Sunday feast at 3 p.m., kirtan at 2, and the class is at 1 p.m. Okay? You can see what is most practical. Change it if it's not suitable for your congregation. If you're looking for a breakthrough in your Sunday program, then try breaking your routine. Do something different. Have you seen this person? Have you seen her? Any Matajis around? Did you see her? This is the unexplained ISKCON mystery of the invisible guest. They come to our Sunday program and they become invisible. There are so many scientific researches. They're trying to find out how to become invisible. But it's very simple. You enter a Hare Krishna temple and you become invisible. How do we welcome our guests? Do we introduce them to our congregation members? Do we, the Christians, they have a whole big philosophy on ushers and greeters. See, there's a lady usher, there's a man usher. You go into their church, say, "Welcome, sir. Good morning, and welcome to our Sunday program." Professional, they stand there at the door, they welcome each and everybody. They even have books and books and books about how to be a welcomer, how to be a greeter. What do you say? How do you smile? How do you make the guests comfortable? The greeters. See, our church needs ushers. Serving as a church usher, Wilson's Usher Guide with rules and regulations. A guide for church ushers. Usher in today's churches. Books and books. They even have a handbook. Usher handbook. We don't even actually for us, we don't have a problem because they're invisible anyway. Even in Walmart, if we go shopping in Walmart, there are people who greet us. "Thank you, sir. Good afternoon. Please welcome. Have a good shopping time." Then we have, "Oh, may I help you?" There are people with these boards where to find different products. Even a Muslim lady, she's totally covered, but she greets people. "Please come, spend your money in our shop." See, so many people, they do this. So, if you want to take one important slide, the most important slide in this seminar, it's this one. You're doing a Sunday program, consider to give something new for the new. Okay? Give something old for the new. Give the new for the old. They're bored listening to the same things a zillion times. Give old for the old. Keeping up with the philosophy and not trying to make a show, but being in line with Srila Prabhupada by presenting it in a very relevant and appropriate way. Okay, what does new for the new mean? New programs, ideas for new people. How do we attract new people? Different kind of bridge preaching programs. What does new for the old mean? New programs, ideas and engagements for our devotees. Then what does old for the new mean? Means rethinking, repackaging existing programs for new people. We have the best philosophy. Like I said, we could be presenting hundreds of classes and lectures and seminars. Those karmis out there, the impersonalists, they're taking over the world. We have like the best philosophy. If we can think of rethinking, repackaging, like Prabhupada said, think of innovative ways to inject Krishna conscious philosophy into the dull brains of people. Repackaging. They say, the bottle, changing the bottle, keeping the message. Old for the old. Rethinking and improving existing programs for existing devotees. Okay? New for the new. Please repeat with me. New for the new.
New for the new.
Old for the new.
Old for the new.
New for the old.
New for the old.
And old for the old.
Old for the old.
Thank you. Okay. Consider listening from your audience. Okay. Let's ask them. Surveys. Let's make a survey. Feedback forms. How do you like our Sunday program? What do you think we can improve? How do you think you can contribute to make our Sunday program better? Interviews. Okay? Then depending on that we can improve. Consider devotees' attire. Sometimes devotees are dressed really funny ways. And what happens is, you know, it creates a different impression. This is, I don't even need to tell you this, but basics. Keep first aid boxes ready in your temple in case something unexpected happens. Consider your signs. Do we have proper signs? Where to put the shoes? Where are the restrooms? Not just give donations. Like in some temples, you sit down for prasadam, donate for our temple. You're walking down the stairs, donate for our temple. I mean, I'm walking down the stairs. How can I donate and walk down the stairs? Like, we have to consider what kind of mood are we showing towards the people when they come into our temple. So, I mean, you can look from, when you go back to your temples, you can actually walk in as a new guest. Just look around how you would feel as a new person. The shoes. How are our shoes kept in our temples? They even, in some of the temples, they even have volunteers every week who go and place the shoes in the right order. Consider invitation cards and flyers. This is one of our old invitations, a transcendental invitation. Govinda Theatre, 7:30 p.m. See, please keep that in mind. They had entertainment. 7:30 every week. They had, maybe not every week, you could have every month. This is a new invitation. Yoga meditation, karma, reincarnation. You see the rethinking, repackaging. Consider the book stalls. Do we have somebody always there, or every time we go there, people, guests come, it's closed all the time? When do they buy the books? Consider the boutique. It can actually bring in a lot of Lakshmi to support the temple if we have a properly planned boutique. There was an idea to present a whole seminar in the ILS about boutiques, but they had to cancel it because it was a very big subject. They didn't, 1 hour was not enough to actually touch upon how to do this. So if you're interested, then you can contact me. I'll tell you who you can contact to get more ideas about boutiques for your temple. Consider your announcements. Sometimes Sunday announcements go on and on and on and on. Never ending. Keep it to the point. Move on. Give them something inspirational. Okay. Consider your toilets. How are the toilets in our temple? Sometimes it's not very clean. Different people use the toilets in our temples. Okay? Different kinds of people. Some people, I know it's not Vedic, but people sometimes they need toilet papers. If you have a problem with toilet papers, you can consider having saffron color. More Vedic. But sometimes people cannot do without it. We have ladies and gentlemen coming from different backgrounds, different cultures. They're somehow accustomed because sometimes people freak out when they don't find toilet papers in there. Okay? Consider who you don't want in the temple. This lady, she's having a board, I love Ritviks. She comes in our temple, contaminates every other congregation member. Did you see this website? Did you see about this Maharaj and the contaminating? How do we avoid such people in our temple? Okay, even more worse. We sometimes have people who smell bad. They don't take bath. Some people are really funny looking and weird looking. We don't want people like this. Why? Because then the decent families will feel put off. This is not a place for us. We're going up. can't come in this place. Of course, keeping in consideration when I did the previous presentation, Prabhuji's wife was there in the presentation, and she was sharing how in Madurai there are a lot of this kind of people who visit the temple during Sunday program because they know that prasadam is given. So what to do? Well, we need to be compassionate. We can't just shoo them away. I mean, they're also human beings, they're souls. So what do? We actually thought of an idea that as soon as they come at the door, we give them prasadam, we send them away and say, if you want to come to the temple, come another day. So you keep them away from our guests, but at the same time, you actually give them some mercy.
So we give prasadam.
Give them some prasadam, yeah. Okay. Consider the follow-up. Emails, updates, SMSs, call them up. Why didn't you come for the previous Sunday? Are you alright? Is your health okay? For example, in London, they have a whole team of young people. They make sure to have attendance, not like a checking on them, but just as a care system, caring and follow-up. So as soon as they see somebody is missing for a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, they make sure they call up. They even do the system when a new guest comes to the temple, say, how many of you are coming here for the first time? And then a few people raise their hand. They say, please leave your phone number and address. We will send you a gift. So in this way, they have their address. So, ideas. Because there are cold leads and hot leads. Cold leads are the people we come in touch during Sankirtan. We distributed a book to somebody. Somebody waved at us in Harina. But hot leads are the people who come to our Sunday program. They're right there. Hit the iron when it's hot. That's the chance. This is a system they developed in Chaupati. It's a very complex, very detailed system. How to do this follow-up. Cultivating materials, phone numbers, contact, online social network, visiting them, online store, different support systems. Very nicely done. So basically, to make a contact into a devotee, the other day in Srimad Bhagavatam class, Radha Maharaj was mentioning, takes buckets and buckets of love. And how do we express that love? Through a plan, through systematic plan. Consider the youth. Sometimes, for example, in Canada, in Toronto, they gave the whole Rath Yatra festival to the youth to organize. And they did a fantastic job. They used creativity, fantasy, and they did something amazing. So they're full of energy. They may not be, very Vedic, but sometimes we need to use our brain how to engage them.
In South Africa,
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, Maharaj. And then South Africa also, Maharaj is talking about a group.
Krishna Consciousness, they do their own time.
Yeah. They do their own Rath Yatra, they organize, they put everything together, and they do amazing, right?
Yeah.
In Radha Desh also. Yeah. So we have already ideas executed. So we can take examples from those places. The most important slide for today is consider your enthusiasm. How enthusiastic are we? That will be seen how we organize the Sunday program. Because just do it may be good for Nike, not for us. If we do a Sunday program just because, yeah, we have to do it in a proper date, everybody does it. If I'm a temple president, I have to do a Sunday program. Then it becomes like this. It becomes a burden. Right? It becomes like a rut. You keep going over the same thing, same issues, same challenges. People come only for prasadam, and I don't know how to manage this, I don't know how to manage this. So, if you want to break through, have like a change in your routine. Next, children. We have our children, we just cater their needs. Are we giving them whatever training we need to give them? Some kind of Sunday school where children are educated, given training how to deal with different people. This is Child Protection Office. Now there's a rule, every ISKCON needs to have a child protection team in your temples. If you do not have one, please contact them and get connected with them. Okay, children are our future. Prabhupada said, if you get the child, you get the whole family. If you lose the child, you lose the whole family. So we should keep in mind the children. Thank you very much, Hare Krishna. And like I mentioned in the beginning of the seminar, we went through these different ideas. Now what I'd like to do is, I'd like to hand over this piece of paper where there's a whole summary of what we presented. There are different ideas. So what I'd like you to do is check with your notes, circle what you like the most, whatever you think that can be applied. What did you like? What do you think you can work on in your temples, in your communities? Okay? Then we're going to have a discussion. Please make notes of whatever you'd like to share. Okay, take a minute to circle what did you like the most? What do you think you'd like to work on in your Sunday programs?
Mataji,
Yes.
you just came a little late because you had another meeting. Can you go to the first two slides?
Actually, you see the first line. This is what we discussed.
Okay, this is what we what we are supposed to do?
You have to circle it or take certain aspects that you liked and you think you can apply within your Sunday program. Something that you can work on.
Should we keep it?
Sorry?
We can keep it or we can
No, it's for you. The paper is for you. Now, I'd like you to turn towards the devotee next to you, okay, and share with them. What did you like and what do you think can be applied in your Sunday programs? Okay? Take a minute, share with somebody sitting next to you. Cool. This is the whole presentation, this is the overview. So you can check whichever you like to apply in your Learn today something you would like to actually work on in your communities. Something that you, yes, Prabhu.
We have many things to say, but I will say two of them.
Sure, Prabhu.
First is about be relevant.
Mm-hmm.
That is what we would like to divide as a group. The devotees into different groups, newcomers, seniors, very seniors, like that. That is one thing. Then practical outcome of each class, of every class. What will be the practical outcome and what
Like how do you influence them?
take home for them.
Okay.
What is the take home for them? And then maybe we'll think of a drama every Sunday. There's one drama on the theme which we presented, or the class we presented. And maybe your kirtan also, relevant song, Vaishnava song.
Very good. Thank you very much. Yes, Prabhu.
2 or 3 points which I felt were very significantly important. One is this new for the new for the old and all that. The first 4 quadrants, where everyone feels that there is something in it for me.
Right.
Because no one feels that it's not for me, it's for someone else. And then, to make all these arrangements to make sure that all sections of people are cared for, including children and all. And the preparation aspect was very important to make the presentation such that people will not want to miss it.
Right.
Not that it's a boring presentation and usually, as I said, people come for the feast only because it's boring. So make it, add these dramas and like, the youth can play a role, and very importantly, this, those ushers or the
Yeah, the ushers are greeters.
ushers are greeters. In other words, to extend that principle, there has to be someone who is willing to spend one-to-one time with every single guest.
Yeah.
To make sure that everyone who comes, there is someone to talk to them. Like that, so that, and then take the contact.
Thank you. Yes, Prabhupada.
That's very nice. So many new experiences there. Especially, I liked quotation by Srila Prabhupada. He said about perfection.
Yeah.
I heard it first time. And also, you said something like that. Some signboards in temple. It's very necessary. And also, some complaint in Bangladesh also in temple like that. People are needy and they're stored in the shows and show people is very important. So many things actually. Thank you.
So you're planning to like maybe
Surely
take some public
should be
charity.
established. It should be established. Otherwise,
Jay, thank you. Any other comments? So if you have some ideas that you're already doing in your temples, but you would like to give it to us as an idea, we can share with the rest of the world. So if you're doing something new, you have more ideas, please share with us. And we also have this wonderful book called Super Sunday with all the different wonderful cartoons in it. How do you, for example, you see, if you have people coming into our temple who smell bad and don't take bath, then the decent people run away. And then we have the prasadam, if it's too spicy, then they eat it, and then, there are funny cartoons. See different audiences, maybe different lectures. Then we have how to use language. For example, new guests come and we say, we want to preach to you, we're preaching to you. So maybe we have to be careful about certain words. And new people, we say, Lord Krishna, Lord Chaitanya. They get confused. What is this Lord? They're not Lord of some, not in England, the Lord is, they get confused. So we have to use words which are common and not like, oh, let's decontaminate and have Mahaprasadam, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Think of this sentence from a new person's perspective. It's like, what are they talking about here? Okay, so we have this book available here. And we also have from ISKCON Desire through different websites. Vaishnav Seva Prabhu is kindly distributing this. If you are interested, you can give it out to your congregation members for their sadhana and listening classes and things. And we also have different articles, different materials, different ideas. We update regularly from the ministry. So if you would like to get an update, please give your email address to us and we will keep in touch with you. We won't bombard you with emails once in a month, once in 2 months. When we come out with our magazine, we will send you the information with ideas and you can keep in touch with us. Thank you very much for the seminar.
You asked a question.
We officially end here. If you like to stay here and continue talking, we can. So thank you very much.
You told Mataji what other things we can do.
So this is our website. ISKCONcongregation.com. Yes, Prabhu.
Engagement of the devotees, those who come to the temple. We engage them in some, say,